Methods of separation in everyday life. Have you ever seen your mother sort through dal to remove any stones if present in it? When grains or pulses are collected, small stones often get collected with them. These stones have to be handpicked to make the grains fit for cooking. In the chapter 6, we learned to group things. In this chapter, we will study how to separate components of mixtures. In nature, very few substances occur in their pure form. Most of these substances are found mixed with other substances. To obtain pure substances, we need to separate these mixtures. We use many methods to do this, depending on the difference in the properties of these substances. Mixture. When two or more pure substances are mixed together in such a way that each component retains its properties, we call it a mixture. The amount of each component in a mixture can vary. For example, air is a mixture of many gases such as oxygen, carbon dioxide, and nitrogen. Dust particles and water vapors are also present in it. Sugar solution is a mixture of sugar and water. Brass is a mixture of copper and zinc. Need for separation. Perhaps you eat namkeens or mixtures containing groundnuts. Some of you who like groundnuts would pick them out and eat them first. Those of you who don't like them would still pick them out and keep them separately. In both the cases, you separate one component from a mixture to make it more suitable to your taste. A mixture may contain two or more substances in any ratio. These substances are called components of a mixture. We may need to separate components of a mixture for various reasons, such as to remove the undesirable or harmful components. For example, small pieces of stones and unwanted seed grains are removed from rice and pulses before cooking. Remove the impurities so as to obtain pure sample of a substance. Pure substances are needed in medicines, research, industries, and also in daily use. Separate useful components of a mixture so that each component can be properly used. For example, petrol, diesel, and kerosene are all useful components of crude petroleum and need to be separated. Methods of separation. The components of a mixture can be separated by simple physical methods. The choice of method is based on the differences in properties of the components of the mixture. To choose a suitable method for separation, we should find the property of the component to be separated, which is different from that of the other components. Separating solids from other solids. Handpicking. You must have noticed your mother picking up small pieces of stones, husk, or chaff from rice and dal before cooking them. This method of cleaning food is called handpicking. It is used when the mixture contains solids of different colors, shapes, or sizes. It is used only when the component which has to be separated is present in a small quantity. Threshing. Suppose you have been given a bunch of grapes and a bundle of wheat stalk. How will you separate these stalks in both the cases? In the first case, it is easy for you to remove stalks from grapes. But in the second case, wheat seeds are so small that it is not easy to remove their stalks. Then how does a farmer separate these stalks from grain seeds? He uses a method called threshing. The farmer makes bundles of grain stalks and keeps them in the sun to dry up. After that, he beats them against a slab of stone to remove the grains. The process of removing grains from stalks is called threshing. Nowadays, threshing is done with the help of machines called threshers. Winnowing. The process of removing husk or chaff from grains by the action of wind is called winnowing. After threshing, farmers use this method to remove husk or chaff from grains. Winnowing is based on the property that grains are heavier than husk and hay. This method is used when there is a difference in weights of the components of a mixture. Here, heavier component, grains, and lighter component, husk or chaff, are separated by wind or by blowing air. For example, to separate wheat grains from husk and hay, farmers drop the mixture from a height. The lighter husk and hay are carried away by the wind and form a heap at a distance. The wheat grains, being heavier, fall almost vertically to form a separate heap. Activity 1. Take a handful of sand in a plate or bowl. Tear a sheet of old newspaper into small pieces and mix these with the sand. Carry a chair to the open ground. Stand on the chair holding your plate. Slowly tilt it, allowing the mixture to fall. You will find that the sand falls and forms a heap below the plate, whereas the bits of paper are blown away by the wind and form a separate heap nearby. Sieving. You are well aware of sieving of flour to remove unwanted particles like husk or chaff from it. You might have also seen big slanting sieves at construction sites used to remove pebbles and stones from sand before it is mixed with cement. Are the pores of sieves in both the cases of equal size? Sieving is used when the size of particles of different components of a mixture is different. The choice of sieve depends upon the size of the particles to be separated. Care should be taken that the size of the pores of sieve should be larger than the smaller component, useful components, and smaller than the components that are need to be separated. Magnetic separation. This method is used to separate magnetic component of a mixture from non-magnetic components. When a strong magnet is passed over such a mixture, the magnetic components get stuck to the magnet, whereas the non-magnetic components are left behind. Iron objects can be collected from garbage by using a powerful magnet. Activity 2. Mix iron fillings and sand in a china dish. Try to separate them by hand. Is it a very slow process? Now take a bar magnet and move it over the mixture. What do you observe? The iron fillings get attracted and stick to the magnet, leaving sand behind in the china dish. Separating soluble solids from liquids. Evaporation and condensation. The process of conversion of a liquid into its vapor state is called evaporation. In nature, this process takes place slowly. But if we increase the temperature, the process of evaporation becomes faster. Evaporating sea water to get salt is one of the oldest ways of obtaining salt. This method is used for the separation of soluble solid particles from a liquid. A liquid component of a mixture can be separated by evaporating it, leaving the other component behind. The evaporated liquid can be recovered by collecting its vapor and cooling them. The process of conversion of vapor of a substance into its liquid state is called condensation. Condensation is opposite of evaporation. Activity 3. Take a beaker. Fill it with salt solution. Pour this salt solution in a kettle. Now keep the kettle on a burner and heat it. What do you observe? You will find that after some time the water evaporates and a white residue is left behind. The water vapor can be collected by keeping a plate containing ice tilted over the kettle. The water vapor steam on striking the cold surface of the plate will condense to form water, which can be collected in another beaker. You will find a white residue left in the kettle. When you taste this white substance, you find that it is salt. Activity 4. Aim to make an artwork with salt solution. Materials required: a black chart paper, a pencil, salt, water and a brush. Take a black chart paper, outline a figure on it by pencil. Make a thick salt solution by dissolving 2 to 3 teaspoons of salt in a little water. With the help of a brush, spread this solution inside the outline. Let it dry. Your artwork is ready. Separating insoluble solids from liquids. Sedimentation and decantation. Sedimentation and decantation methods are used to separate insoluble solids from liquids. It is based on the difference in weights of different components. Activity 5. In a beaker, take a mixture of sand and water. Allow it to stand undisturbed for some time. You will observe that the sand particles have settled down at the bottom of the beaker and a layer of clear water is formed above it. Slowly pour this upper layer into another beaker taking care that the sediments of sand are not disturbed. The process of settling down of heavier, insoluble particles is called sedimentation, and the particles that settle down form the sediment. The process of pouring the upper clear liquid into another container without disturbing the sediments is called decantation. You can also observe this process at home while washing dal, rice, etc. Your mother decants the upper layer of water which contains dust and other impurities. Rice or dal is left as sediment and is then cooked. Filtration. This method is also used for the separation of insoluble solid particles from a liquid. It is more suitable if the size of solid particles is very small. In this method, the mixture is allowed to pass through a filter. A filter is a medium with very fine pores. The insoluble solid particles retained by the filter are called residue, and the clear liquid collected is called the filtrate. Commonly used filters are a piece of muslin, malmal cloth, and filter paper. A layer of cotton or a layer of sand can also be used as a filter. In filtration, the size of pores of the filter is very important. For effective filtration, the pores in the filter should be smaller than the size of the particles to be removed. Activity 6. Aim to obtain clear water from muddy water. Materials required: muddy water, beakers, funnel, glass rod, filter paper, and stand. Procedure. Number 1. Set up the funnel in the stand and keep a beaker below it as shown in the figure. Number 2. Fold a filter paper as shown alongside to make a quadrant. Open the quadrant by keeping 3 layers on one side and 1 layer on the other side. Number 3. Place this paper cone in the funnel. Now pour muddy water into the funnel with the help of a glass rod. Number 4. Collect the filtrate in a beaker. Number 5. Open the filter paper cone to observe its contents. Observations. Number 1. The beaker below the funnel contains clear water without any mud particles. Number 2. All the mud particles are retained in the filter paper cone. Result: filtration is an effective method to obtain clear water. Separating soluble solids from liquids. Centrifugation or churning. The particles which are very small and can easily pass through filter paper can be separated by churning or centrifugation. In this method, the mixture containing suspended particles is rotated at a high speed in a centrifuge machine. The denser particles settle down at the bottom of the container and the lighter ones stay at the top. This method is used to separate cream from milk, butter from curd, water from wet clothes, drying in washing machine. In Indian homes, a wooden instrument called mathani is used to separate butter from curd. This process is called churning. Activity 7. Take fresh cold milk in a jug. Churn the milk with a churner. What do you observe after some time? The separated cream floats over the milk and can be removed. Signs in the vicinity. People use RO water filter as it is not possible to get potable water from contaminated water through simple method of sedimentation and loading. The RO system uses advanced filters which prevent contaminants to pass through. They also kill infection causing germs so that water becomes safe to consume.